it sounds like you had that service mentality at a much younger age, and that you attribute that to your parents.
My parents both, I think, instilled into me a value of service. My mom was a nurse, and my dad was a beer salesman, which is arguably one of the greatest services.
Great service.
known to man, yeah. But the concept of service was very strong in both of them, both in their professional lives and in just how we lived our lives daily. And it was a major factor in me deciding to join the military, to go to the Naval Academy, but also to join the fire service. I think when I was much younger, it was less formed, or maybe less polished, less understood by me. But I think the concept existed, and what's neat about the concept of service and the manner in which I provided it, both in the military and then now in the fire service, is that, again, the fire service and the military benefited me greatly because they were a niche where I fit. They have the added benefit of, I think, on their outward appearance, and as something, if I want to approach it in the way that makes me most effective at my job, that have an altruistic nature to them as well, right? Because ultimately your goal should be the service of other people. I would encourage kids not to join a service industry, and I say service industry loosely, but I use it in terms of, like the fire service or the military, but pursue what it is that you desire as a young person, and that is something that makes you positive and makes you happy on a daily basis, and then find out what it is about those things that are altruistic and benefit other people.
Let's say I'm a freshman going into high school, or a sophomore going into high school, and I want to go to West Point, or I want to go to the U.S. Naval Academy, and that's a goal of mine. What kind of things would you recommend that I do as a high school, freshman or sophomore, to put myself in the best position to get admitted to one of the military academies?
Well, so number one, I think, is exposure, right? I had this grandiose idea of what the Naval Academy was, what a degree in engineering meant, what it meant to play college football. And then I think a lot of those things don't necessarily stand up to the test of experiencing them firsthand.
Yeah.
And so this summer seminar, along with multiple visits that I did, not only to the Naval Academy, but to other schools, exposed me to what life there would really be like. I think the number two thing would be that, and this is a hard concept, even for us to grasp as 40-something years old, is the concept of stability. And I think with the realization that change is a part of normal life, whether it's change due to the coronavirus or civil unrest or unrest overseas, that part of what the Naval Academy does, part of what the fire service does, part of what even you exposing yourself to more of these things as you grow up as a young kid, is it prepares you for that change.
Other than the exposure, what I've noticed, Nick, is that the military academies, at least historically, have always tended to want people that were well-rounded, like athletes, scholars, or other extracurricular stuff.
Yeah, well, certainly it would help. And I think you're right in that the military academy does look for well-rounded individuals. So if I can touch on one point as far as admissions is concerned, you need a letter of recommendation in order to attend the Naval Academy or any of the service academies. This letter has to come from a U.S. senator, congressman, or congresswoman, or from the vice president.
How do you even get that? I mean, how does that happen?
Every congressperson, every senator does it differently. They each have an allocation of, I believe, 5 appointments at any given time. I think in order to make yourself well-rounded and appear as that well-rounded individual, not only to these interview panels, but to the admissions committee at the Naval Academy, like you said, a background in athletics is helpful. But again, my argument would be, if you're not involved in athletics, that doesn't preclude you from applying. What I would say is, look at the things that you do enjoy doing, whether it's student government or Students Against Social Apathy or whatever.
Yeah. Eagle Scout, if you want to, stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah. But try and evaluate those things that you do and that you like to do, and how they would benefit the Naval Academy, or how they would benefit operating in a team environment, how they would benefit society as a person who is dedicating their life and their career to a career of service. And then I think once you start evaluating those things that you're already good at, it allows you to go in front of an interview panel and say, hey, this makes me a more well-rounded individual because X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z.